Welcome back to another episode of Red Hill Racing Podcast. I'm Ben Knight, once again joined by your co-host, Mr. 40 Time, Dustin Lee. How tired are you tonight?
Tired. I ain't got no sleep. I got 2 hours when we got home Monday, and then I got 5 hours last night. So I'm still like 2 days behind, basically.
I got
Pretty
you.
much.
Yeah, I got more sleep than you. I got 3 hours when I got home Monday. I was gonna stay up, but at 6 o'clock Monday morning, I was falling asleep standing up, so I went to sleep for 3 hours. Then last night, I, probably slept, I guess, probably 8 off and on. Tried to go to bed early, but I'm with you. Not as bad off as you. Still trying to catch up though.
It was no
It was a wild
fun.
weekend.
Yeah, it was hot. You didn't want to be outside because it was a bajillion degrees, and then if it wasn't bajillion degrees, it was coming a monsoon, so you couldn't be outside then either. So
The
you was either
humidity was
in the camper or sweating your butt off, one or the other.
Yeah, and the humidity was like 5,000%. It was literally like walking through water, even when it wasn't raining.
On a real note, I don't think it ever got under 70% all weekend.
I wouldn't doubt that one bit.
Yeah.
This episode, Dustin and I are going to talk XDA, all things XDA that we can think of. It was a hell of a long weekend. As we just kind of mentioned, basically battled thunderstorms and stuff all weekend long. So we got there both Thursday. Well, actually, I guess you were there. Were you Thursday?
It was Thursday morning.
Thursday morning, yeah.
I didn't get no sleep that night either. I got like 3 hours of sleep that night.
Yeah, Dustin got to the track Thursday morning. I got there around, I don't know, lunchtime on Thursday. And yeah, we didn't leave the track till Monday morning.
Other than Foxy Fish trips.
Well, yeah.
We did get that. Plural. We did get that twice. Yeah, that was the only perk about the rain was to get that. But
for sure,
I mean, it was. To be honest, I'm still kind of shocked that they didn't send us home Sunday, but they got it done. So
got it done with 15 minutes to spare. So y'all buckle up and hold on. We're going to do a full XDA recap. Shout out to our amazing sponsors and supporters of this show. Appreciate all that. BMF Motorsports, University of Wynn, Energy Coil, Knight Marketing Group, Hard Times Parts and Service, Montgomery Motorsports, Manchester Mines, Schnitz Racing, Platinum General Services, MTC Engineering, Penske Racing Shocks, MPS Racing, and Worldwide Bearings. Of course, we couldn't do it also without you guys, the listeners, guys and girls. I'm sorry. And we appreciate y'all subscribing up to our Patron and website for all the giveaways.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So where you want to start, Dustin? Oh, by the way, not safe for work. Yes. We'll definitely probably curse on this one. We're still running on fumes a little bit.
I'm going to start with Foxy Fish Thursday.
Yeah, that's a good spot.
That's part of my recap. That was probably one of my highlights of the weekend, to be honest. We got blue crabs. They were the best ones I ever got at Foxy Fish. Biggest ones, heaviest ones. They were the best.
I ate crabs with you and the squirrel and Boo as well. They were damn good. Hell, I made one pass on the Max 460 bike on Thursday after he got the chassis and stuff figured out with Mike at Mike Schultz, and then we were gonna make another pass, but we all decided we were just gonna go eat.
Yeah, everybody was hungry. I'd made passes all day on making sure my bracket bike shifted and stuff after changing the software, and made a few on the Trunchbull, making sure it was ready for her XDA debut, I guess, in the Gamblers race. And
got her ready for the big dance.
Yeah, she done good. She made me happy.
Yeah, we started off at Foxy Fish and damn near ended it at Foxy Fish.
Yeah, I mean, minus just a little 6 or 7 hours of racing, then we went home. So
well, we also thought maybe that last outing at Foxy Fish was going to be it.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, we were driving there. The run that I had to make to the truck, which was probably 50 yards, and I still was soaked that quick. I thought that we was going to go eat and come back, and it was going to be over, and we was going to have to unload everything and clean up and load everything back up when it quit raining and go home. But they are. If it wasn't at Maryland and it wasn't XDA, it wouldn't have happened. Like it. To be honest, if it wasn't at Maryland, I don't think it would have happened. Even if it was XDA, I think that if we was at any other track that XDA runs, which is just Virginia, I don't think it would have. I don't think it would have happened, man. They have
VMP doesn't have as late of a curfew.
Well, that and they don't also have like. I just don't think they have the track staff like Maryland does. Like Maryland has just so many workers that can go out there and push a broom. You know what I mean? There's several, especially at this race. There's a lot of just scooter riding around security people that they were out there working. So.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that. You're probably right. I mean, nothing against Tyler and his staff. He's got a great staff.
No.
But,
it's just
I think you're
Maryland
right.
just has more heads, more soldiers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was crazy, y'all. If you weren't there, basically,
we had rivers flowing.
Well, yeah, we had streams everywhere, but Thursday, yeah, that went off pretty much without a hitch, right? And then Friday we started doing the normal thing, had some testing, started the gamblers race. We get Q1? No, we didn't.
We got cut short, didn't get the Q1 finished because it come this windy ass. Lord, what's going to happen?
Friday evening.
Yeah, it was like the wind. Everybody was taking their tents down.
Oh, it was blowing tents over. People were tying all kinds of weight to the tents, and they were still moving.
And then the people that didn't take their tents down, most of them got destroyed by just water weighing them down and breaking them down.
Yeah. So
Sean succumbed to that on Saturday. His went down Saturday over the same reason, just water holding.
Yeah, so we were down to basically the semifinals of the gamblers race, and they were calling up, I think, Q1, and maybe even got a little bit of the grudge.
They called all the pros up basically.
Yeah, and they were running grudge, a shakedown. I remember that.
I won't forget the fact when they called Pro Street, the wind was probably gusting 50 mile an hour, and I was like, "There's no way I'd ride my bike in this." But I don't think. Fabian just goes by a schedule. He don't feel the wind in the tower. You know what I mean? He just don't. He's just up there, doing his thing. And
I was saying the same thing, man. They were hollering for the pros to get up there, Pro Street and everything. I was actually over at Max Pit when that was going on and was trying to help, them clean up and tie down tents. And Max said, you got to tech in the 460 bike. So I got that teched in real quick. And when I came back, I told Mac, I said, "Look, man, let's put Rowdy up." And he said, "What the hell are you talking about?" I said, "Dude, I would not ride that bike right now. I don't have enough passes, enough seat time, and it's brutal out." So I was like, "If they do calls, I'll come up and help you." And he said, "Okay."
There wasn't going to be no good data from it if you made a pass that round.
Hell no. I'll be honest. I was, like you said, I was scared to ride just about anything at that point in time. But
I wouldn't have rode the Trunchbull going 920s in that wind.
But shortly thereafter, I think they had a grudge pair not go down, but went down the track or whatever. And I think they got a little squirrely, and they stopped it just in enough time for people to basically get back and start getting everything loaded up. And then, the skies fell.
Man, I rode to the tower real quick to see what the payout was left over in the gamblers. And I walked out the door to come back to the trailer, and it was just like you opened the sky up. Man, I had to go back straight to the motorhome and just change. I didn't even run into the motorhome because I was done drenched. I just walked in there and I had to change all my clothes: shirt, shorts, underwear, socks. It was all wet, everything.
Yep.
Got drenched.
And then Saturday morning, Saturday was crazy too because it got off without a hitch, which I was kind of surprised. And that's just, like we said, another testament to XDA and the track staff. Big Dave and everybody else stayed up half the damn night, had the track dry, and definite miscalculation on my part. I didn't have any of my shit ready Saturday morning. I was thrashing. But we went off.
You were kind of running around like a panic a little bit.
I was over there like mad panic, dude.
I was like, "What the hell's Ben's running by?" He had a laptop in his hand on a scooter. I'm like, "What is going on?" I'm over there ready.
Well, I mean, most of the time it's just me and not being prepared or missing something, but when it really comes down to it, Friday evening we jammed everything in the trailers because of the weather. So there, I had Sean stuff in my trailer, which was fine, but I just didn't really think it through, so didn't, didn't get everything ready to rip and roar out the trailer Friday night for Saturday morning. So also kind of thought, there might be a little delay in getting going, and they were right on schedule. So yeah, I was in a mad thrash. Luckily got everything together, and yeah, basically we got through the ET qualifiers, and then they modified the schedule and said we were going to try and get in 2 pro qualifiers and a round or 2 of eliminations to be prepared for more weather on Sunday, right? So that's
Yeah.
how Saturday went. It was wide open.
Yeah. Yeah. So gamblers on Friday, I finally beat my curse, I guess you could say. Ever since
Oh
I
yeah.
started sponsoring the gamblers, I'm 99% sure I haven't been past third round, and it has to be 3 years. I think I've sponsored it for 3 years, and uh, I got by third round, and I really wasn't even thinking about it. I was just racing like I normally do. I told everybody on here that I just thought that I need to ride something slower so I wouldn't be red lighting, and that's exactly what I did, and that's exactly what happened. Got down to the semis, and we got cut short and had to finish it Saturday morning. I was a little skeptical Saturday morning for the fact that two things that that bike has been slow the first hit every time I've rode it. So like I usually just throw the first pass away.
Right.
Something else about a first pass is usually the clutch is cold, so they might be a little grabby. And I tried to ride around the pits and warm it up good, but it's not the same as making a pass. And sure enough, I dialed it up. I dialed it good. I think I dialed like a 29, and it went like a 31, I think, or something like that. But I was 005 red. Um, so was Nick. I was racing Nick, and he was 005 red as well. But realistically, I wouldn't have really asked for that race to turn out any different because Nick went on the win. And at the end of the last episode, we told you about Derek Bilborn and their teammates, and it was very cool to see everybody in the winner's circle with 4X20 shirts on, and Derek's bike in the winner's circle with Nick's. So I think I couldn't have really planned it to happen any other way, but that the way it went worked out good.
Yeah, it was a tough weekend as far as that, goes, because we were missing our buddy Derek, and then like you said, with all the that's a tight knit team, Double O Racing. We've always kind of had for a while our little DRR. But
The thing for me is every one of those guys are really good friends of mine. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah,
like, you almost feel like you're kind of part of it. You know what I mean? Like you're part of their crew because you're so tight with all of them. And it was just,
yeah,
there was some emotional things, seeing the bike, and they done like a little tribute to him Saturday. I posted it on Facebook. I'm sure a lot of people have seen the video.
mm,
It was good. It made you feel good, but then also it made you cry too. So
oh yeah,
um,
it was
I rode down the chase road beside the track, and I had big old fat man tears going down my cheeks the whole time, But it also felt good, it's a weird deal, But
it was a good send off,
really good
that's.
tribute for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And then, like you said, to start off the weekend with Nick Hamlet, Double O Racing, getting the Gamblers race win, and I don't know if you'd talked to Nick or if you heard him say he'd noticed in his trailer that morning that 5 years prior they were at Nanu's Bike Fest, and Derek beat him in a final. So just kind of
yeah,
how things lined up. I mean, heck, they were coming around. What was it, Saturday? Had a 50-50 going. I mean,
yeah,
literally hundreds of tickets were bought. In fact, you could get, I forget what it was below that, but if you paid them $100, you got an arm's length. So you just stretched both arms out. So, I mean, hell, I think I had 50 some tickets, and Brandon Bachmeyer won it. He
yeah.
showed up to the track Saturday. Trust me, there was no foul play. It was just divine intervention, I would call it something like that. I don't know what you
Destiny.
call it,
It
man.
was destiny, man.
Destiny.
Yeah.
And Brandon did what I think a lot of us were gonna do. Brandon, just donated it all to Derek's family and fun for his daughter and everything. So it was a special weekend, a special moment. Derek was on everybody's minds. And like we said, you got Nick, his teammate, winning the gamblers race. Brandon, his cousin, had that, got the 50-50, which was cool. Brandon's mostly racing cars nowadays and donated that all back. And, other people too, like when it was 1 a.m. when we took our winner's circle photo, my winner's circle photo, and good old Uncle Walt said we got to throw double O for D-Lo. So we did that. It was just it was something else. So I feel like everybody as a whole, it was a good honoring Derek for that weekend.
Oh
One of
yeah,
the
for
biggest
sure.
races of the year. So, yeah. So you got that big old monkey off your back and got down to what, 3 then in the gamblers race?
Yeah, I was fired up Saturday. I mean, even though I lost the semis, got me a cool $1,000, and I was
Nice.
like, I'm ready for the bracket bash, baby. Like me and this box working good together. This is what I needed. This is what I thought I needed. And then the bracket bash got canceled because of the weather. So, she was done. She got to do her one race, and she done better than anything I had this weekend. So,
Yeah, you
she's
and
the
I started off good on Friday. I mean, we were both rolling Friday. I come off and you and Squirrel had me amped up. I said I literally need to get my head out of mass.
yeah, about damn time.
I
Jesus
know, I
Christ.
know. I needed y'all to stay
Like
on me.
3 years.
It was that come
All
on.
last year and all this year. I'm sorry. So okay, 2 years.
As y'all know, Dustin and the Squirrel Jimmy have been riding me pretty hard about having lackluster lights. Not that I was trying to, but I don't know what was going on. I think it was, I don't know. I guess it was just being
Your head
complacent.
was up your ass. That's where it was
Yeah.
at.
Well,
That's
that's what I mean.
exactly.
I was just being complacent and between my boys keeping it real with me. If y'all are big, I'm a
There's
big
a
Dave
couple
Chappelle
little
fan.
stragglers. I think
So
you had what, like a '08 one round or something. I can't remember.
I got good reasons for those two bad lights.
Oh, okay. Sounds like excuses to me.
Yeah, I do have good excuses. But anyways, I was on track, man, and I think that in the school, the University of Wynn, here we are, trying to teach members and show them the way, and I'm just cutting shitty lights. So I said it's time. So unloaded, rode my brother's bike Friday, and I want to say off the top of my head, I was like 17 and 40. The 2 passes I made, so I said I'm ready to go. That's way better start than usual, and proceeded to go trip zip perfect the first round of the gamblers. And I came back around and I was 16. Then I came back around third round and I was 15. Fourth round, we don't know what I was because there was a timing system malfunction. And then come back around and had to race to Alex Maturo. And he's a damn good young racer. I laid up a hair, I guess. Was a little bit later. I was 40, which I'm not mad at all. Alex was
Oh,
35.
that's about where I lived at. I wanted to be between 20 and 40.
Yeah, I was okay with that. Alex was 35, so he had me a little bit, and I just couldn't run the number I was dialed. So Alex took that win, and then it was you, him, and Nick in the semi style. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was a
And
good start
this
for me.
in the semis, Alex was the only one that was green. He was 50. I was 005 red, and so was Nick, like I said earlier. So
Yeah, yeah, and as you mentioned, Saturday because of the schedule modifications, unfortunately the bracket bash had to be canceled. It's not a points class, so that got canned, and they were able to fit in, 2 rounds of pro qualifying, which I'll be honest, us, I don't. That's probably I mean, they almost always get 3. I don't know if I've ever heard of them just having 2.
oh,
Have
there's
you?
been a many a times that we lose something so they can have three. But I think this time we all had to lose a little something, to be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, there's been many a times that, like, well, for example, Virginia, they got rid of re-entries in the bracket bash so they could get their third. I think they
Uh-huh.
got 4 qualifiers that race, to be honest. And uh, this
Yeah,
time
that
they
was
just
like unheard of, is what that was my point. I
yeah,
feel like
they've.
that
I
was
don't think
unheard
they've
of.
ever just got to. But in this situation, it just wasn't happening. Like we barely got it done with what they got.
Yeah, and hats off to Jason. I know he puts that schedule together and modifies it as necessary with the team. So I mean,
Yeah, he calls it a audible, right? That's what he
yeah,
usually calls it. Yeah.
and look, uh, uh that's they have that down to such a science. Jason does of running events. Tyler Crossnow, he's similar, but they have it down to such a science that they figured out what time was needed, what to cut out, what changes to make,
Well,
and
they
they
have
nailed it.
data, right? And then when
Hmm.
they create their like how they created the series, now that everything's changed with the bracket bash and stuff, there is stuff that you can remove and not affect the season. Like the bracket bash is non-points, right?
That and
And
the gamblers, yep.
yeah, so they can remove those, and they put those there in that place so we can have some racing, but it's not like life or death in this situation. And they know exactly. They have so much data, like they keep data how long it takes to run Pro ET, on an average. So they have all that number stuff, and they know what it takes to run a whole round of qualifying for every class. So if
Hmm.
they got a ditch like bracket bash to squeeze in 2 rounds, that's what they got to do, before weather. And they put a lot of faith, in judgment, because you can't always believe the weatherman, right? But they
Right,
play
right.
it by ear, and they also, the day of, when things are happening the day of, you do have a radar, and the radar's accurate, versus what the weatherman said on Monday, and they just live by that. They keep eye on it. There was a couple pictures that somebody posted on Facebook, and Jason had his hands in his face, just like trying to rub the stress away. And that's got to
My
be
son knows.
a freaking stressful job. And I wouldn't want.
Well,
I mean, I have a hard time making the call whether when it was about to rain if I should load my stuff up. Let alone he had to make a call that affected everybody at the racetrack.
well, not only that, but this was the Bike Fest, biggest race of the year, and it's not just a race; it's an event. They have entertainment lined up, they have bikini contest, bands like there's
And
sound off
somehow
competitions.
I think everything got done. The sound competition was done Saturday, right?
Hmm. Yep.
And then the bikini contest and all that stuff on the stage went on Sunday because I've seen pictures of it. So it everything still somehow happened. Now
It
I
was
will say
crazy.
that the we didn't get as many spectators because it was terrible
Right.
weather
Right.
the first half of the day. Um, that affects the series, like getting that gate money to help pay for having a concert basically, or the sound competition and all that stuff. But um, it could have been way worse, and it could have been better too. But they took what the cards they were dealt, and done a damn good job per usual.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. You and I, we were a couple of us. We were, sitting around Sunday morning, 10, 11, even as
I was
much
like,
as
just cut
noon.
us loose. Yeah,
I
let us
know
go
we were
home.
all like, and,
Yeah.
and we're, we're pretty hardcore racers. I don't feel like there's too many people that are as, hardcore about racing than you and I. And we're like, let's just pack it up. But you know what? They had a plan. They knew how much time they needed,
There's
and
five
then
thousand reasons why you're glad they didn't pack it up.
yeah, I mean,
I could have went home.
yeah.
I only got $100. I could have took my happy ass to the house.
Hey, you know what they
So
say, hindsight's 2020. But no,
yeah.
we it was a crazy weekend. I was down there talking with my boy Ralphie, and you and Squirrel and Boo. Y'all decided to go to Foxy Fish again Sunday afternoon about 1 o'clock, 12:30, and finished up talking with Ralphie. Ralphie had to hit the road and turn Shane Stubbs loose. He had to drive to Texas, so they actually got out of there, and Ralphie was still in. But I caught up with y'all. We had a late lunch about 1:30, 2 o'clock, and got back to the racetrack, and they were shooting for a 5 o'clock start time. And be damned if we didn't get to racing about 5:30. I think maybe it was 6, but sometime in there. And about 6.5 hours later, we finished up. So. hats off to the XDA, the Maryland International Raceway, all the workers. It was a long, long weekend. So let's get into some racing action, some more racing action.
I mean, we had to run first round top sportsman and 560 for me Saturday night, and I won those 2 rounds, and then that put me at Sunday.
Which was opposite of me. I lost both those 2 rounds, 560 and top sportsman.
Yeah, yeah, and then you fell over to Pro ET and then won first round of Pro ET that night, and we was going to try to do a second round, and I mean, me and you both was like, this one ain't going to happen. There was not enough time to get this done, and within the time that we had, and the rain came and really proved that it wasn't going to happen. I mean,
well, the rain came like it was like 3 separate times within like a 2-hour span. It was like,
but that last one was like the last nail in the coffin.
Yeah, no, for sure. But like
and it wasn't a drizzle; it was a damn monsoon, as I call it. It was crazy.
Monsoon, yeah. Before that, though, it have a couple big drops, sprinkle, and then stop, and then we went. Put the
load all your shit up. Yeah, it was that stuff's the worst.
I'm pretty sure I did that 3 times trying to get that Pro ET round in.
I'm the guy that, like, if it's gonna rain, just do it. Like, I don't like this, 5 or 6 hours of foreplay. I'm not interested. Like, just put it in. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my goodness. There's y'all's humor. There's your humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you, and you were done unless they were running second round. I mean, I was.
Yeah, I sit there in my leathers because I'm a fat guy and I don't want to take them off. I sit there in my leathers for 4 hours waiting on it.
I'm not shitting. You saw me. I think I took mine off and put them back on 3 separate times, and I finally got that Pro ET round in, which was.
And you hear us complain about leathers, guys, because it was dark, but it was humid, like. Oh my God. Oh, it was just like you'd walk outside and you'd just start sweating. Like there was no stopping it. It was happening.
You cut the humidity with a butter knife.
Oh, it was bad. You could see it. That was for sure in the lights.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was kind of, so I'll go back a little bit to my 460 adventure. We finally got everything going. Mac has spent a ridiculous amount of time, money, and effort, and had plenty of help along the way, but basically after the last race where we had even more issues and we're still trying to get the thing right, Mac had brand new wheelie bars made. They found a little issue in the chassis, had that corrected by Mike Schultz. So Mac unloaded and was just testing that bad boy Thursday, made some good progress and had some more frustrations, and finally he came up and he was confident. He said, "You need to come down and watch this next pass." I think you were down, went with me, didn't you?
Let's see. Yeah, your first pass.
But on his first, or that last pass.
Oh, yeah. I watched his. Yeah.
And we went down there and Mac went straight as arrow, and we got back to the trailer. He was smiling, laughing. He said, "Go get your shit on. It's your turn." Yeah, Thursday I made the one pass before we went out to Foxy Fish, kind of rewinding a bit, and I turned that button loose and was prepared and did a little bit of riding, not a whole lot. It went pretty straight, and I clicked off a 458, wide open. So we went in 8, and then basically fast forward back to Saturday. We had to get those 2 qualifiers in, and first qualifier went a little. They made a few changes. It went a little bit right, and I actually unintentionally got out of the gas. I was leaning so far off the bike, my elbow just kind of came up, and I went a 470. I think I was in the field at that point. Come back around for Q2. We made one more adjustment and pretty much went straight down through there and went a 465. So, qualified for my first 460 race, and then got ready for eliminations. And I didn't have any expectations. Look, that class is cutthroat. If you follow 460, they're rough. Those guys are usually, really good lights. I mean, I see them a lot of time, double O's, teens, 20s. Like that's pretty normal. And that's the one thing I really hadn't, had much time or focus on, because to be quite honest, I was just still trying to learn how to ride that fast ass bar bike. So it wasn't until eliminations that, I kind of felt comfortable and confident to try and hit the tree. And, first round I had Daryl Hollins, a class veteran, and I So I'm just going to try and, roll in a little bit and see what I can do and, let go of the button, rode it down through there. Kind of thought Daryl was a little bit out in front of me, and I'll be honest, I thought about lifting. I said, nah, I'm just going to follow him through and the scoreboard lit up 461 with a 0 and a win light. And it was that moment. It was just cool. I was excited to win, but I just knew everybody on the starting line was going nuts because I really felt the love and support from not only my friends and family and racers, but even just the 460 group as a whole. And Dustin, you found some pictures earlier and tagged me in them. There I posted on my Facebook. There's photos of Boo and Mac just jumping up and hugging, and then the rest of the team in the background. It was just the coolest shit ever, and I'm glad that you found those. And
yeah, I was cruising through the pictures and I seen them. I'm like, oh, I know exactly who needs to see these. That's why I sent them to you.
And that's what I told him. Like when that first win light came on first round, I was smiling ear to ear because I knew that my crew was down on the starting line just going nuts. So that was just so cool. It was so much fun to even get to see that after the fact. And I actually
yeah, shout out to Larry Brown for catching those pictures.
Yeah,
That was who took them.
That was super important. Daryl just took a little bit too much stripe. He broke out and I won, and then so I was ecstatic. My weekend was made as far as 460 was going. We made a heck of a good progress. I won a round. That was more than I could imagine, and I'll be darned if we didn't come around Sunday evening and I had to race Robbie Honeycutt second round. And I'll be honest, I missed it. I was late. Robbie treed me, but then he had problems and I won second round. So then we were rolling with some momentum, and third round I had to race Dan McCartan. He was there actually pick up Mac's top sportsman bike that he won on the raffle, the waffle. We made some changes. Max said go ahead and throw her in deep, so I did. I tried to turn it off the top bulb and deep stage and let go, and man, it's just wild. It's going down through there and hanging on, and it's fast. Trust me, it's fast. And boom, scoreboard lit up and it said 460 with a 1. And I started to celebrate, and then I realized my damn win light wasn't on. Dan laid one on me. He was 15, I was 50, so I still got to work on my lights, and he was able to kill enough and back into me, and he went a 462. So overall, I don't know, it was a wild weekend, and just seeing the enjoyment and excitement from Boo and Mac and Derek and Freddie and Tara, all of them. It was just cool, man. There's a lot of hard work by a lot of people going that. So I was glad I could do a little bit of my part and, learn to ride it a little better and go a couple rounds.
Yeah, I mean, you're ready now. You can race instead of worrying about, riding.
Yep, I agree. So, yeah, where you want to go off to next? I told a little bit about 460. Obviously, I got a little bit more to talk about, but
talk about top sportsman, I guess. So
yeah, let's head to that.
Sunday when we finally got to go to second round, I had to race Boo, my homie, and I was ready to go, and then I was looking at the third yellow, and when it lit, it just kind of like froze me like a deer in the headlights. And I knew I was a little late. I was 60. Boo was 002. Pretty much sums that up. To add insult to injury, as I go back, fall over to Pro ET for round 2, I got to race Jeff, the gangster, the ET gangster, Jeff Santine, or Santine. I don't know how you say his last name. Anyway, ET
Santine.
Santine.
I don't know. The ET gangster. That's all.
Yeah, the ET gangster. He was my neighbor. He parked across from me, and this weekend we, talked a lot and hung out. Anyway, he was trip zip, guys. Like, let's just be, what do you do with that? Like, I wasn't terrible. I think I was 40.
He was trip zip. Okay, let's take a step back. You lost round 2 in Top Sportsman. Jeff lost round 2 at Top Sportsman. Jeff's race in Top Sportsman, he was 001 red. Gary Klontz was 001 green.
Yeah. So he comes back and like adjust one thou somehow.
Yeah. Somehow Jeff comes back.
Fucking gangster shit.
Yeah, that is some gangster shit. Like Jeff said, I don't give three shits about that 001 red. I'm gonna hit this bitch the same, and was perfect.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, he was perfect, and I was 044. I just now found the results 044, and believe it or not, I did not grab the scramble. I think my bike just picked up a little bit because it just now went down the racetrack like 15 minutes prior to that, and it just had some good heat in the motor. And I trusted it. I thought I'm going to get there still, and I tucked, and I didn't get there. I was like 0-1 something behind, but it went. I broke out. We both broke out, but I broke out worse. He broke out like 4 thou. He was or 3 thou. He was 3 thou from having a perfect package. So I was ineligible all around pretty much. Actually, now that I see that, I wish he would have cracked the throttle a little bit so he could have had a perfect package on me. That'd have been cool. Anyway, so that ended me in the ET stuff, and then I was in 560. And to be honest, I felt really good in 560. It was pretty cool that was the only thing that Old Faithful had to do this weekend was 560. That was all I set it up for. It was just one class, and that was it. I had to race Rico round 1 on Saturday night. Which Rico's a great 560 racer. He was 041, I was 38, and I think he was. I think he must spray nitrous or something, but he just grabbed it too late or something. He just couldn't get there, and I won. Then second round, I raced. Oh, Dwayne Jackson. That was probably my best race. He was 028, I was 029. He couldn't cover the number. I won a 64. He won a 63 or 66. I mean. Third round, I had to race Jeff, which was crazy. It was because we come back from the Pro ET and he trip zipped me, and then we had to go right back up for 560 and I had to race him again.
Oh my goodness.
And that was, I think, my worst light. I was 054 and he was 070. I won a 61 with a 7 off the gas. Actually, let's see, I let him go. Yeah, because we got down there and I actually had to grab the happy button. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're breaking out. I let him go, and he broke out. And then the round that I've been mad at my bike ever since I left the racetrack over, and I'll explain that I shouldn't have been here in just a second. So I go up for the semis, and I got to race a guy that I sold a clutch to, and I tuned it for him. And he lives in like Arizona or something, far away, of course. And he said, I was wanting to put you on the trailer in the final. I said, well, this is a semifinal, so here's your shot, And I was 0-4, and he was 0.14. When I left, I'm like, oh, this is over. Like like initially, I'm thinking, well, this should be a fairly easy win for me. I knew everything about him. I knew he didn't have nitrous. I knew that his bike was dialed dead on, and I knew I had a lot on the tree, so he wasn't going to get there. And anyway, my bike decided that he wasn't going to take second gear. And when it didn't take second, I realized it, and I grabbed second myself, and I grabbed nitrous, and I was banging gears. And somehow, with no shift light, I shifted at 10.8 every shift. I looked at my data a little bit ago, which was pretty good. Go me. And just couldn't get there. I mean, I think the ticket showed I was like 0-4 behind. Almost, his light was bad enough that I could almost make it up. And I think if I wouldn't have waited so long to grab a hold of the second gear and the nitrous deal, I could have maybe still made it happen. But I wanted to burn my bike. I wanted to make s'mores. And then I unloaded my bikes about 2 hours ago, maybe. And I have a toggle that I use to deactivate the auto shift. So if I'm in the garage revving it or whatever, or if I'm not using auto shift, I can just turn it off, And all it does is just break the wire going to the electric over air valve. But I backed it out of the trailer, and I went to sit on it and look down, and that toggle was off. Now, I don't never turn that toggle off when I'm racing, but that also don't mean that I was riding to the lanes and my helmet maybe bounced off of it or flipped it, or, it's dark outside. I could have maybe hit it with my hand. Who knows? But I usually check it in the burnout box, but I know I didn't that time because I wouldn't have turned it off, and it was off. So apparently it was off, that pass. By the data log, the ECU tried to it killed the motor, once, and then it has to have a RPM drop to reset. And it didn't try to reshift until I got off the gas, but then that same time I butt shifted it. So, um, just shit happens, right? This is racing. I've had that toggle's been on my bike since 2019. Now, this is the first year that I've actually used auto shift every time. I used to just use it in 560, but this has only happened twice in 4 years. So it's not really that big of a deal, but the toggle switch is going. I'm going to just, now that I have a newer software, the bike has to see the data logger on. It has to see a launch to initiate auto shifting. So there's no reason to have the toggle, because if you're in the garage and you fire the bike up with the data logger off, it's not going to shift. It can't. So there's no reason to have it. Basically, my data logger can turn it off. And so, sometimes things happen and it sucks, but that round was probably about a $500 or $600 round for me. It would have been nice to get that to go with the Trunchables money that she won on me for me Friday or Saturday morning. But I ain't mad at it. You go racing. I always figure a G to go to the racetrack out of town, stay for 3 or 4 days and race a bunch of classes. And the Trunchable won that. So I got to race for free. The only thing I'm missing is a lot of sweat and my family, so I'm not too mad at it. At least I don't have to take a motor out and try to chase a ghost issue. So that's a perk.
We were throwing ideas back and forth the whole, my
yeah.
whole
I mean,
drive
you
home.
talked. I was gonna send the transmission I had off and just have it back cut and just throw everything brand new in it. Fresh everything. But now that I've seen that toggle, I'm like, well, I'm a dumbass. And just to make sure everybody knows, my homie Gage, I put on Facebook that he just now helped me set up this software because I wanted him to look over it, make sure it was right, and I appreciate him for that. I never, not one time, thought negative things toward Gage. I thought my motorcycle was just a piece of crap, and now the motorcycle's not a piece of crap. I'm just a piece of crap for not checking it. So that's life. I mean, I guess I need to get over the old bar bike days, because back then, you about damn near had to have a toggle, because some of them old KZs you shift at 9,000, 9,250. That's pretty easy to hit when you're just ribbing one. So I need to get over those days now that we have standalones. It's got functions that you have to have perimeters for it to work. But it's just, the old software, it just made sense to have it. And plus, I didn't use it all the time. But the bright side of this is I got the monkey off my back in the Gamblers, and I have auto shift now that works like it should if the switch is on. So I'm not mad at the weekend I had. I got to eat Foxy Fish twice. I got to hang out with my people when it wasn't storming. It's all good for me. I actually got to, we all come to race, but I feel like I kind of got to say bye to Derek Milborn too. So that was kind of a good thing. I ain't got no complaints.
Yeah. I mean, you and I have been, basically preaching show after show, like, hey, it ain't that big a deal when you get to hang out with your homies at the racetrack. And we had plenty of time hanging out this weekend. It was fun. It made for a super long, crazy weekend, but we literally had hours and hours to hang out with our friends that we don't normally get to hang out and do. I mean, you and I was in your trailer, hours by the time the end of the week, I probably spent 8 hours in your trailer just talking with you.
One thing I enjoyed, and it might be weird that I enjoyed it, but there was a lot of people just playing in the rain. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why I enjoyed that, but I just enjoyed watching them. Like, they were just outside in the rain. Just some of them were just laying on the ground and like doing, like, I guess you could call it a snow angel or whatever in the rainstorm. And
Jill set up a slip and slide at one point.
Yeah, Jill. Well, then Jill and John and somebody else was throwing a frisbee in just like a monsoon. I don't know why that put a smile on my face. I guess it's because sometimes we forget like the little things can be enjoyable, but it was pretty cool.
I agree 100%. And for, like you said, now the weather did deter some, spectators and people, but
it didn't stop our mood though. You know what I'm saying?
No, I was going to say there's still a decent amount of, spectators and people.
Oh man. Like, that's the thing about the Bikefest race is, like, you have random people walk up to your trailer and they're asking They don't know. They
Yeah,
don't know nothing about what we're doing, right? So they're
dude,
like,
that's
"Why is your tail section this long? Why is the So I talked to several people just explaining to them, how do we shift it, and all that
man,
stuff.
you
Yeah,
took the words out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
yeah,
As racers, we're not always, I would say, fond of Bike Fest just because sometimes it's hard to get through the pits and honestly, people aren't paying attention when they should be. So there's the frustrations that come with it, but then you have the cool things like Dustin was saying, and just general bike enthusiasts that are just wowed and awed by your, equipment that you spend a lot of time and money. And then hell, I signed a girl's shirt this weekend. Some little girl wanted me to autograph her t-shirt, and that was cool.
yeah, yeah. I mean that it's wild when I had one guy asking about my bikes, and he was like, "Well, who rides them?" I was like, "Well, I do." Like, yeah, this fat guy does. I do. I ride them, and he's like, "That's awesome. Both of these are yours." I'm like, "Well, yeah, there's another one in the trailer with my wife's, but I've been riding it till she gets her life right." But it was just cool to talk. Bringing knowledge to people that has no idea what we're doing. They just say motorcycles at Maryland. Let's go check it out. You know what I mean? And they come check it out, and they really don't know what they're walking into. And like you said, sometimes it does get frustrating at this race specifically when you're trying to get back and you look down and your temps is 215 and you're riding your bike and there's a lot of people walking in the middle of the road and that stuff is frustrating. But that honestly, without those people walking around in our way, we wouldn't have a place to race probably. It helps make the world go round type deal. And I mean, I'm sure everybody's seen me ranting about the Tahoe with the stereo system on Facebook, but I'm cool with spectators. I'm not cool with, and I'm not got nothing against people's stereos. Like I just think that there's a time and place. When we're trying to listen to the PA, you can't hear it because somebody's cruising through the pits with their stereo bass right on my trailer. But that's the bike fest. That's the way it is. You just kind of got to get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
I was fired up.
You can stir some pots. I'll tell you what, you posted that Tahoe rolling around and what you got some flack on that or something.
Oh yeah, they was. I guess his homeboy was in his feelings. I think it's almost like I hurt him or something. He was really tore up about it. But I was just being truthful. Like if you're here to watch racing, park the car and watch some racing. Cruising it through the pits in everybody's way. I mean, a full size Tahoe with your radio wide open and cruising like.
It was a hell of a sound system, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, homeboy probably got 10 grand in that thing. He's got a lot of money in it. I'm sure he's proud of it if that's what he's into. I mean, I'm the guy that drives home from a race and don't even listen to the radio at all. Like I got so much stuff going through my mind. I just, I don't even like work and everything else. Now if I get real sleepy, I have some really, really bad karaoke. But I'm nothing against his hobby and what he's into. I just feel like he could have parked it and jammed out in the grass. But
well, there wasn't supposed to be cars going through the pits anyways.
Right.
At this race. So
had me fired up. Had me fired up a little bit. And nothing against the guy and his vehicle. That's awesome that you're proud of what you got. But park that some bitch and then listen to your radio. We don't. We're proactive. We're trying to like hear what they're announcing. They call your class, you don't know because you couldn't hear it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And I get grouchy in the heat. So I could have been possibly hungry too. So that's a double whammy.
Hot, grouchy.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So that was basically your weekend, right?
Yeah. I mean, I got my butt kicked and not all bad,
but I mean, we gotta put it in perspective too. Like
let's just be real. Like
you win a lot, and you got down to two semifinals.
I did.
And the one time your bike just, it was a small issue.
But
that was a winnable round.
I feel like this year is the year of triple O and Dustin. Like I think I've been trip zip 3 times and double O'd probably 10 to lose this year. And I just, that's the thing about me is people go for it or they're just on kill. I get the wrong person at the wrong time. That's just part of it. That's racing. But I think I'm going to have to step it up and I'm going to have to live in that area to be able to survive at this point.
Yeah. Yep. So, well, we'll dive right into some standout stuff here in a second. I guess I got to talk about Pro AT, huh?
Yeah.
So I won first round of Pro AT Saturday night against Clay Davies, who I'd raced the weekend before at Nanu's Bike Fest, and he beat me. Yeah, I was late. I missed the tree. I think I was like 60 or 70 that pass, but I'm pretty sure I know what happened that Saturday evening. And I know this is an excuse, whatever, it is what it is. But when I went to stage, it's like I couldn't really make out the individual bulbs, like there wasn't lights on the tree or something. Well, fast forward to Sunday, and I'm pretty sure I know what happened. I don't think the lights were on the tree. I think they forgot to turn them on. What I'm talking about is in the center wall pointed at the Christmas tree. There's two or three bulbs in there for when it gets night, and it sheds some light on the tree so you can see the bulbs a little better. And not making an excuse. I mean, I still won the round somehow. But yeah, I couldn't make them out very good. And then so I got by Clay Davies, who's always tough. That's an OG right there. He's been doing it for years. Had my number bad the weekend before. Then second round Sunday evening, we get fired up, and when we go up for second round of Pro AT, it's basically dark again. This time they did have the lights on the tree. I have no excuse for this one. I shit the bed, which was not a good time to shit the bed because I had Logan Matthias, who I think beat me the last time or two we raced. So I wasn't super, I wasn't super confident there. I should have been drilling the tree, and I just flat missed it. And that was my lucky round, Dustin, because I think I was 80. Logan had problems mid track. His bike shut off. So I cruised to the win on that. And basically after that, I said, if you don't get your head out of your ass, you will not win another round. And basically got right back on track to, the gambler race, streak I was on Friday, where I was trip zip 16, 15, 40. And is as weird as it was racing so late Sunday night. And I don't know, how like a lot of times you end up inevitably getting tired, right? Like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, you can't stop it.
Dude, for whatever reason, I mean, I gotta say, I was fucking dialed, man. Like I did not feel tired one bit that whole evening. Maybe we need to sneak off, or maybe I need to sneak off and try and eat foxy fish in the middle of the day on Sunday, but I felt good. And then third round, and I'm telling y'all, when I feel like
It's
this is
probably because we
probably.
actually eat.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we did eat, but man, I'm telling you, this was probably one of the toughest, I think, single races I've won, just in who I had to beat, man, or who gave me a freebie. I mean, I had Clay first round. Like I said, I had Logan second round. Third round, I had our boy, Chris Sokowski. He's a University of Win member. He's a good racer. And I knew he was going to
You
try and
actually
beat
owed
me.
him one, didn't he? Wear you out years ago?
It's funny. We and Chris hadn't raced each other. Yeah, it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And he beat me, and then his bike broke, and y'all raced, I think. Am I
Yeah,
correct?
he couldn't make the final, but
Yeah.
we split anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, and he beat me, and his bike was broke. So I hadn't raced Chris since, I don't think. But now he's a school member. He talks to you and me frequently, probably a couple times a week.
I talk to him every day. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So and Chris is just such a good guy, man. He's up there filming passes, taking photos of us. It's really cool, and he's involved with the school, and just down to earth guy, and a great racer. So I knew he was getting ready to bring the heat. So it was even more reason, I had to get my head out of my butt. I was 35. I left first, and I see my win light come on. And we got to then, and Chris was laughing. He said, "Man," he said, I was coming for you." And I said, I knew you were coming for me. He said, "It's going to be close." And darn if he wasn't 002 red. So he was trying to lay the law down on me. I moved into fourth round. Had to race my buddy again, Mike McAllister. Mike. Everybody knows Mike.
Yeah, Mike's a sleeping gangster out there. If you don't know who Mike is, you're going to know if you go to XDA. He's
Mike
always in the late
rides.
rounds.
Oh my goodness, Mike rides a Honda CBR 600, and he's
Yeah.
nasty. I mean, he's only running like 1080s, but he has that thing figured out. Is he foot shift? I don't even know what all he does. Is he foot
No,
shift?
it's got an air
Air
shifter.
shifter, but he's got
Hmm.
a stock clutch, I'm sure, because it's his
Oh,
Honda
yeah.
600. And Mike's just a heck of a good racer. And as nice as can be. and I had actually raced him in the gamblers race on Friday. And just telling y'all this is, and I told Mike this is how much I respect him. I mean, I was perfect on him Friday, and come Sunday evening, I sure as hell I told him, I said, Mike, I told you Friday I respect the hell out of you because you're that good a racer. I said I'm gonna come in with everything, and I was 19. He actually was a little bit late on Friday. He was not late. He was like 30. I gave it all I had. He missed it a little bit, and I was able to get around him and coast by him because I was carrying a lot of mile per hour and had to kill a lot. So I beat him in round 4. It was a heck of a tough competitor. Then round 5, I had to race Dale Hamilton, and I don't know about y'all,
I
but
was leaving. I actually have a video I need to send you. I was sitting on the exit road at the scoreboards waiting. 'Cause I knew you were coming out first. Yeah.
Well, it's. I mean, do I have to say anything else? It's Dale Hamilton, an NHRA world champ, a bad dude. And Dale actually last race when I won top sportsman and fell over into Pro ET, that's who put me out at Pro ET the last race. So I had a little unfinished business. Like I said, I've been kind of found my spot again on the tree. And I'll be honest, when I left, I didn't think I was great. I thought I'd missed the hair. I kind of really thought I was 40. And we start going down through there, and I knew I was going to catch Dale, but I didn't know if I was breaking out. And at the very last second, now keep in mind, I've been judging the finish line really good, but the last second, I made a mistake. And I made a mistake in the fact that I tried to give it back to Dale, and I didn't succeed, man. I took 00 stripe, and I got there first, and I got the ticket, and then it made sense. I was 009 on the tree. I went one above to be 19 total. Dale was 13 on the tree. He went 13 over to be 26 total. So I think Dale probably would have won every other matchup that round. But
Yeah, if you were to give it
19
back, you'd have
total.
lost. Yeah.
Had I given it back, I was losing. So my mistake of not giving it back worked out in my favor. Like I said, I was 009. Come back around round 6, had to race John Ferguson. He tried to do that Montreal shit on me again. I was laughing. He was laughing. He said, I heard what happened Montreal. He's like, I don't think I've ever raced you two before. He's like, I'm excited. I'm like, man, why are people excited to race me? And I'm not being fat at it. I'm just like, damn, everybody's out to get me too. And I left and I seen the scoreboard light up, and John, he turned it 010 red. So he was coming for me too.
Next time somebody says that to you, just think they're going to go red because what's happened twice now.
I know, but they've been tight, man. 001 by Montreal and 010. I mean, they're not just, they're not just blatantly doing it or taking shots. They're really hitting it hard.
Yeah.
Then I had the Squirrel. So I beat Squirrel in the top sportsman final at VMP. I never liked rematches.
Oh, hang on a minute. Let me ask you. Look here. I'm looking at the results now. I know Squirrel's going to listen to this. Who was 079? Squirrel. Jesus. What is that? 079.
Well,
Lord,
I was going to say, I'm not a fan of, those rematches when you're one up on somebody. And after I think, I was like 12 total in the top sportsman final at VMP. Laid the wood to Squirrel. So I really figured he was getting ready to extract.
Well, you just now did again. You did it twice.
Well, I was 33.
You had 4 in the bag.
Yeah.
Off the trip.
Squirrel missed it bad. Yeah. Said he knew he missed it. And
your package was just barely bigger than his reaction time. He was ineligible. He didn't take like 00 or nothing. He would have been crazy.
I'm looking at it now.
You had a 72 package, and he had your package was smaller than his reaction time.
He was ineligible. Yeah, that's what you call mathematically ineligible. There's really not much to be said on that. Squirrel.
He tried to beat you like you've been doing for the past 2 years.
Didn't work.
It didn't work. No.
And then it was the finals, and it was me and the beautiful Robin Procopio, our girl, literally one of the nicest people out there.
I love me some Robin. Her personality makes her so more beautiful to me.
Win, lose, it doesn't matter. The whole Procopio family, we love
good people.
We love you too, Ronnie, and everybody.
Not as much as Robin, but I love you too, Ronnie.
Well, it's funny. I'll tell you what I said in a minute. But me and Miss Robin, we had to race, and Yeah, I wasn't gonna change anything. I just said I'm gonna hit the tree like I've been. Whatever it is, it is. And man, I was looking back hard that round in against Squirrel. They were both dialed quite a bit faster than me, and the look back was real. I actually saw a video from Dragbike right before I jumped on here with you, Dustin. And you can just see the white or silver, whatever it is on my helmet. You can just see it glisten at night every time I turned around. But we staged up for the final at Pro ET. I think it was like 12:45 a.m. Monday morning. Um, I managed to be 30 something again, 38, and went down through there. Took double O stripe again. This time, as I would say, tried to intentionally take it. And boom, when light came on, Robin, I forced her to break out. She was a little late with 70, and I ran one above or 17 above. So turned the wind light on, turned it off, rode up beside Robin in the shutdown and gave her a big old hug. And I thought of you, buddy. I said, I know you're Dustin's kryptonite, and I love you just as much and think so highly of you. I said, but I don't get as starstruck as Dustin. And she laughed. She thought that was funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a hell of a race. That was it,
Yeah.
man. I just felt so dialed in. That's some of the best I've felt racing wise in a long time. So I'll give where credit's due, and I appreciate you and Squirrel really just giving me shit for the last year or so.
I'll find something else to give you shit about. Just give me time.
Hey, if it makes me better, I'm all for it, buddy. So
Yeah.
yeah, we closed out this
So this part,
rain ridden XDA weekend, what, 15
this
minutes to
part,
one.
yeah, this part that I'm about to mention is the part that I told Tiffany about.
Oh gosh.
So last time you won a race, Mr. Little Walker got a little motorcycle, bicycle, a little Strider deal, right?
Yep, yep.
So this time you won a race, and Tiffany gets a spa day.
Ah, damn it.
Hey, it's gotta
Okay,
happen.
she
Mama
deserves it.
deserves a spa day. She
You're
took
right.
she took care of Walker all weekend while you raced, and
Yeah.
hey, I woke up one morning, she's outside, and he's in his little walker thing, just walking around outside because she was trying to keep him quiet so you could get your beauty sleep. So, Mama gets a spa day.
All right, fair enough. I'll get
Don't
that
make me
done.
pay for it.
No, I will get that done. You're right. No lies to that. I was just worried because I seen your comment earlier on
Yeah,
old Facebook. You're like, listen
psycho
to the
son of a bitch.
podcast. I was like, you're like, I got something. No, fair
Yeah,
enough. You're right.
and I know she'll like this. She needs to go get her some, nails done or whatever she wants. She needs to go get it done.
You're right, buddy. I should have been on top of that. I appreciate you helping out my relationship too. That's
Yeah,
a positive.
yeah. If any of y'all need any more advice, hit me up.
Call Doctor 40 times love line.
Yeah, I got you.
So that was me and Dustin's weekend. It was an up and down weekend. I mean, you still had a great weekend. It just didn't have that final win.
Yeah,
We're greedy, man. We're greedy.
The worst thing for me is I've kind of been in a little rut. So the rut, I'm getting out of the rut. I almost got to the edge of it this time, and then I slipped and went all the way back down to the bottom. But I'm going to keep trying, and it's not. It's so I'm one of the first people to tell you that humble pie is very good for you. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm tooting my own horn here, but I've won before and then not even get excited. But now, where I've been in this little ditch or whatever you want to call it, when I do win again, I'm going to be excited. Like, I honestly thought the Gamblers race was just the one I was going to get. And I mean, I would have celebrated this Gamblers race if I'd won like it was the World Series, because it's been a goal of mine now for like ever since the curse started. And I'm going to get it. I might get it this year. We'll see. I ain't going to stop. But I had a good time. The only thing that really sucked for me was just leaving the track at 11:15 and really beating on my motor home. If it would run 85, it was there most of the time, and it wasn't a big hill. Just to make it home, just so my wife could, didn't have to take my daughter to my mother-in-law's, and just she could stay home. So, and I did. I made it. It was like very, very close. To be honest, I'm sure Tamara was probably 10 or 15 minutes late for work, but I texted her when I was an hour away, and I was like, I'm going to make it.
Well, I remember because when I finally left the racetrack at what 2:15. Before I left, and just so y'all know, Uncle Walt, shout out to him. He hauls the camper for me to the racetrack, and I usually haul the bikes. Well, he said he was ready to go because I said, well, we can stay here if you want. He said, no, I'm good. So he hauls off of the camper. And I was good at the moment, but by the time I loaded everything up and it was 2 a.m., I said, damn, I'm beat. So
Dude, I loaded my stuff so fast. I had my whole trailer loaded in probably 15 minutes, and I'd change clothes again from just the humidity and the sweat.
oh
Like how
yeah.
my shirt was drenched. My God Almighty! And I rode your little scooter up there and got the payout checks because everything my stuff was loaded. And I give you a hug, said peace. I got to go. Good
Yeah,
luck. And
I was surprised but happy you stopped by and gave me a little shout out and a hug. But
yeah,
yeah, but then I called you at 2 a.m. and I said, "You driving all night, right?" And you said, "Yep." And I don't know if you knew already, but I didn't say shit. I said, "Okay, we're gonna keep each other up," and called you back once I got on the road, and yeah, we talked the whole way out for me to get home. So two
yeah. I
hours
talked to you till
basically.
I had 8% battery in my phone, and I couldn't
Yeah.
reach the charging cord in front of the passenger seat.
And I was
So
15 minutes from the house, so we got to go over that. But yeah, all in all, not a bad weekend. But let's talk about some other people besides us. Enough of
well, I
us.
want to talk about um this. It ain't got nothing to do with like the racing side of it, but this is something that I wanted to talk about. And
Yeah.
it's a friend of ours, and I feel like he needs some light shined on him a little bit. My honest opinion. And he didn't win this weekend, but it's Sean Henson. He,
Oh my goodness, that's your
he's
boy.
riding. He's riding a like a 21 Gixxer 1000, 17 up Gixxer 1000, all the same deal. But had high mile per hour and super stock, and went 895, number two qualifier. Caleb's been killing it, and he went a 93 with a 9, and Sean went a 95 with a 2. So he's there. Like he's, there. Now, do I think that Gixxer is harder to ride than a 14? Absolutely. So he's doing there's only two GSXR 1000s, or maybe, yeah, there's only two Gixxer 1000s, I think, in the class, maybe three. But, Destiny was number 3 qualifier, and she went a 95 with a 2 as well, but he got high seed because his mile an hour was more.
Yeah.
But Sean's riding the shit out of that bike. And since we're on the super stock, Mike Davis, a friend of ours, I always call him number 2 because he got number 2 last year in points, and he won. And I don't think he's won ever. I think he's got a bunch
Mike,
of runner
yeah,
ups.
Mike has runnered up so much, and honestly, I hate to say it, but y'all go look at the super stock photo. Poor Mike, Nicole, Tommy, they're all look at Jason. I think
Yeah,
it's Alyssa, right?
everybody's tired.
I think
Yeah,
Alyssa's the only one that doesn't look like they just been drugged through
yeah,
behind the
yeah,
car.
yeah.
Shout out to Mike and their whole team, man. I was fortunate enough because, like you said, he's had runner up so many times. He's a big guy. He's what, 200 pounds or close to it.
I mean, if he ain't at least 180, he's definitely heavier than all the other riders in the
Yeah,
class for sure.
yeah. The exception of what, probably Brian Johnson.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, the
So
thing about
yeah,
Mike is he's going 896 in qualifying,
yeah.
being heavier than it. Like he's got a really stout bike, and he's a really good rider, and it's working out. But
Yeah,
um,
so I just happened to be up there for, I don't know, I was up there getting ready to make a pass myself, and yeah, just I was able to see I walked up right when they were running that final, and just to see Tommy come back after Mike's win, like I was like woo, and Tommy was running back cheering. I was like, Tommy, and he turned and see me, and I was like, hell yeah, and he was just pumped. So congrats to our boy Mike Davis. Like I said, I've known Mike for a long time, and he's a hell of a good rider, hell of a rider. So that was cool. Yeah, you good shout out there to Mike.
yeah,
And like we said, Sean, I mean, Sean raced the first race last year, and then because of work obligations, I don't think he actually made it to the race. And over the winter, he asked me, I had his bike. He asked me to drop it off down at HTP Cecil's. He did a few things to it, and Sean came up and picked it up, I think in February. And he told me, he looked at me, he said, I'm going to go to the track every week. And I think he did, because he is riding the wheels off that thing. He's figured it out, but he's put in the time. So hopefully maybe next time we can be in a super stock winner circle photo next race.
yeah. I mean, he's doing. I even told him that when we was hanging out with him. I'm like, man, I just want to tell you, good job. You're freaking flying. Like you're one of the only ones that's making the Gixxer 1000 work. Because those bikes are just real. The field's 95% ZX14. So it's cool to see a friend of ours go out there and do something that we've seen some really good riders give up on. You know what I mean? So it's cool.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And it's like I talked to Brian for a good little while. I think it was Sunday or one afternoon, and he was telling me how tough it is, racing that class, especially I think, shoot, Brian, he's what, 225, I think he told me. Anyways, we had a good conversation. It's just cool to see, you know, it's just cool to see racers who really are at a disadvantage in certain classes and they just don't care. You know what I mean? They're there to have fun and do the best they can in that class. And win or lose, they'll keep going and they're having fun. And yeah, so shout out to Mike and Brian for being bigger guys in that class for sure. What so we shouted out Super
Man,
Stock. That was cool.
got to go to Pro Street.
Oh, 100%. And
Man,
dude, can you believe that?
Mark Rendeluke is killing it, dude. I said his name right. Holy shit.
Oh.
Anyway, he is like first year guys, first year, and then he went to another final. Like, I mean, he's
bar bike.
Yeah, and also, in the final, I was watching from like basically the staging lanes, and when they left, I thought, man, like Darian treated him bad, But then Darian just had a 002 light. Mark was 51. He didn't have a bad light for Pro Street. Like 51's a good light in Pro Street. You know what I mean? So, and the round before he had a 01. Like for him, it was a little late, but the margin had to be like 02 because he went a 44 with a 9. Darian went a 48 with a 0. So right there is, 31 thousandths. And then there was, 29,000 separation on the tree. So it had to be, there was 49,000 separation on the tree. So you're talking 02 stripe-ish, 028. And that's a close race, in Pro Street final. Yeah, it's a shocker, everybody. Rodney wasn't in the final. It's a shocker.
Well, like you said, Mark comes out. He's been a bar bike guy for years. I mean, like in a fast bar bike guy. But it's funny because me and Mark are doing the opposite things, and I've known Mark for a while too. Like he jumps on this crazy fast, the fastest street bikes in the world, basically this year, trades in his wheelie bars for it. I'm trying to figure out a 460 bike and shout out to Mark because he was trying to give me some advice. I really appreciate it. But Mark went to the semifinals of the first race, his first race. He went to the semifinals in his second race, finals in the third race. I mean, man is on fire.
Shout out to Andy, though. I mean, Andy's tuning it because it went a 53 with the 0 first round, a 53 with the 0 second round, a 52 with a 9 third. Like, holy shit. It was like you could have bracket raced the damn thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then in the final, they must have wicked that thing up and it went a 44 with a 9. Or, Mark got on the scramble or whatever, but it's just, I mean, that thing moved 1 thou the whole race, until the finals, which is better than our shit does. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, you're right. Shout out to Andy and Demi and the whole DME team.
Steve,
and then Steve, and then also Chris. That's Mark's right hand man, and I know he's doing a lot of the work on the bikes too. So shout out to Chris as well. Great team effort. And then this not only was Mark like super exciting and just mind blowing, but honestly, I don't know how, but I guess I was wrong. I thought Nanu Darian Payne had won before, and they said that was his first Pro Street win. Right?
No, he's been in the finals a few times, but I don't think he's ever won before. Yeah.
So shout out to Darian and the whole Cranky Racing team. That was super cool. I didn't realize.
Hell, now that I'm looking at it, I mean, Jesus, them guys are all. I mean, first round he had a bad pass, but he had a single. But second round, he went a 51 with a 4. Third round, he went a 45 with a 7, and then in the final, he went a 48. So it's pretty good there too. Just consistent, clean passes.
And like you said, it's worth noting he won the semifinals against Rodney on a hole shot.
Yeah, he was 047. Rodney was 078. He stepped it up big time in the final on the tree because in the second round. He was 73, and then in the semis, he was 47, and then the final, he must have just went for it 002. Sometimes that happens.
And did you see that little number beside Rodney in round 2?
Oh, yeah, trip zip. Yeah. That's
Oh man.
ridiculous. On a, to be honest, on a pro street bike, I almost wonder if that was like an accident. You know what I mean? So, but
I
that's
don't know, man.
ridiculous.
Those guys, I will say this, that the
They've stepped their game up because I
that
remember back getting to results,
exactly.
it would be 100s
I was,
everywhere. You know?
man, you and I, we're like two peas in a pod. Cause yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I remember when, 080, 090, whatever, 070 just seemed like those were pretty good reaction times on
Yeah,
Pro Street.
yeah.
That ain't cutting it now, guys. Y'all better get your shit together. These boys ain't playing.
And Jason Dunnigan, like he was 015 when he lost in round two, but he had to lift because the bike was just going to take out a block. I think he actually did take out a block.
Yeah, he did.
But
I remember him hit that. He got him another one.
yeah, you got to pay for him $50.
Yeah. So yeah, that class is no joke. But congrats to Darian and Cranky Racing. They got their first Pro Street win. That's super cool. Like you had said, I know they've been to a couple finals, so I guess I just kind of assumed they had won. But yeah, well, that's cool. To see Darian and Mark in the finals of Pro Street. A little bit variety for Pro Street. Super Dave, he was laying it on him
He
at Pro
just
Street.
he just drug his horsepower right across everybody's face. Oh,
That's
I mean, he
yeah,
did, man. Like, I mean, he went 40s every lick. I'm pretty sure. Like, or maybe what one pass was a 50. Yeah, every other pass was 40 something. Like, it
yeah,
is just ridiculous. Like, I mean, number two qualifier was Marcus with a 59, and Super Dave was 46 qualifier, like
yeah.
746. I mean, he's acting like the early NHRA when Gage had everybody for a 10th in pro stock. Now it's all tightened up. They keep adding all that weight and stuff, but
Yeah. Yeah,
um,
Super Dave seems to be the guy to beat in Real Street right now, for sure.
oh
And
yeah,
obviously he's not won. Actually, I don't think he won either of the first two races, but he's been laying down 40s all year.
yeah. I'll tell you guys something. I don't know how damn long that motorcycle is, but it ain't very long. And to ride that thing, I was actually talking to him about it. I'm like, man, I just don't know how you do it. Like he came by the trailer and got some parts, and we were just BSing. And I'm like, he goes, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know how you do it. He's like, well, I ride a lot of 450 dirt bikes. I said, yeah, but the clutch on a 450 ain't going to be nowhere near as stiff as
Doesn't
that
have,
real street
yeah,
bike.
it
He
doesn't
go,
have
you
700
right.
pounds of pressure.
Yeah, but I'm like, but he's rode that bike forever, so
Yeah.
he's just got it figured out. But I don't know how long it is, probably 65 inches or something, but it's
I think,
short.
yeah, he's like 65, 66. So,
Yeah, yeah.
hey, we got to give credit where credit's
Oh,
due.
he's
Shout out
killing it,
Super
man.
Dave.
Yeah, he's killing it.
Yes, I mean, like I said, it's kind of ironic that this was his first win of the year because he's been running 40s all year. But there is still,
The
despite him
tree
being
is the
quicker,
difference,
yeah, there's some good parity in the class because
Yeah.
it's still a rider's class. Despite having a seeming you know
I mean, the all
advantage as
motor
far as
guys don't
ET.
have to ride, but they can cut a lot, but they're also slower. So it
Yeah,
like, the few hundreds that they get on the tree is made up with horsepower on the power adder bikes if they do their job. Now, if you get that guy on a power adder bike that just goes for it, i.e., I think what Spencer probably tried to do, and cuts a good light, but Spencer went red, then it's really hard for the all motor guys to cover them, but it's also hard to control a clutch and take a shot at the tree at the same time.
yeah.
So
Well,
um,
it's hard. It's hard for the all motor contingent during the summer too, which was
yeah.
basically this race and
Oh, it was
unfortunately probably
terrible.
BMP next race too. So
Yeah, I mean, all my bracket stuff is, it's off quite a bit. You know what I mean? Like just my bikes in general's at least a tenth off in ET when it's like this outside. So
yeah, for sure. What else we got going on? I don't know a lot about some other classes. Tommy Saxon won Pro Extreme running 397. That's
Mr. Rick
badass.
Bunting won 460. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Rick rides that no bar GS with a 14 tail and Pro ET with us at Top Sports
Okay,
Team.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I've actually read something. It was a sentimental win. Apparently, I read this. I don't know if you saw it. Apparently Rick, that's not his bike. He built it for a close friend of his who passed away. And that's the first time the bike, I think, is what they said, had been raced. Or the first
Wow.
time I'm pretty sure at worst case it was the first time he's raced it, and he won the damn
Yeah.
race.
Yeah, he did a good job, man. He was doing good. Like, for the most part, it seems like the whole race. Like he was, he wasn't mowing the tree down, but he was good tune-ups, running the number, racing. Like he was just racing well. I mean, in the final, it was a double breakout by 1 thou separation. He went a 56-9, and Shriver went a 56-8. Shriver had room there. Like, he had over 200s on the tree. So it was, and he had less mile an hour, so obviously he was out of it. But you got to remember when it gets late like that, we all kind of get a little tired and wore out.
Yeah, and it was it was late in the evening for sure when they finished that up. So yeah, I agree. Congrats to Rick Bunting, and that sounds like that was another feel good moment and a cool story to go with that.
Since we didn't mention it, congrats to Miss Robin for winning Top Sportsman. I don't know if we mentioned that or not.
No, we hadn't got to that.
Yeah, and we talked about her races, but she raced Squirrel in the final, and her beauty succumbed to Squirrel, and he was 04 red to her 001 green.
Yeah, well, it's funny because she merged over. Okay, so she beat Jimmy in the Top Sportsman final, like you said. She's 001.
Yeah, they fall over to round 6, I think. Right,
they fall over, and that was the round.
She got to buy that round.
Well, it was, which was wild because I just raced Dale Hamilton, and I was 009, and we come back around, and let me double check. Let's see. Yeah,
she was 001.
Well, there were 7 of us, and I said, they said Robin has the buy, and I said, sweetie, I said, I'm not trying to be nosy. I said, I love you. I said, but what was your light? And she was like 001. I was like, well, that shit on my 009. I said, enjoy your buy run.
Yeah.
Because I was certain I had it. And then, no, Miss Robin does 001 in the Top Sportsman finals. So, Robin made it to 2 finals. So hell of a weekend for Robin. Not surprised. She's a gangster. She really is.
Yeah, she done good. Squirrel done good. He went to a final and then a semi. You can't be mad at that. The semi that he went to is a really good payout class. Like, and then saying that in Top Sportsman, he was 00 or 01 every hit until he went red. Jesus Christ. Like to be honest, he had the best total reaction time in the class. And then this, messed up in the final, basically.
Yeah, Squirrel, we got to give you some love. We give you too much shit all the time. But like Dustin said, man.
I ain't going to forget that 07 you had on Ben, though.
Yeah. But you did. We got to highlight him, like you said.
He killed it. 00 and 01 the whole race except the final. I mean, every round. His worst slot was 017 or something. Until the final. It's just crazy.
So shout out to
and then
Jimmy.
Our little buddy Montreal. He got Street ET this weekend. Like, he's he's a good racer. He's been riding that bike really good. I might predict. I don't even know what Street ET points look like, but I bet he's probably up top. He's doing really good.
Yeah. Montreal, he don't play around, and that's who I was talking about the last time, but who was excited to race me. And like I said, I'm starting to wonder why people are excited, not toot my horn, but damn, they're out to get you and me, man. They're ready.
I'd like to race you. The 50-50 shots are going to be 01 to 07. So.
Oh shit! Yeah. You know what? It's good. I like when people. It's really cool that people are excited to see how they stack up, and they want to race us. That's good. They're bringing the best. That means we're growing.
Well, they are on me. Jesus Lord! Like, I mean, I'm getting more out ever. The past couple STBAs, it's like 560. I'll be 02 dead on to lose in the way. I'm just not even. I'm just all in everybody's way. So I'm gonna have to start pushing it a little harder versus trying to live in my 03 zone. I guess you could say I've always been happy with that area. Actually, I looked at points real quick. Now, they're not posted yet because of this race, but he's not in Street ET. I don't see him up top. So I don't know if maybe he missed a race or something. So Lewis Green is leading points in Street ET. Clay Davies is second.
I got you.
I don't even see him anywhere in the points. Street ET. Wow.
It might be the first race no, he was at the last one. I know he was at the last one, but he was running. He might not have been running Street ET.
Oh, there he is. He didn't. He got 0 points in Street ET the last race, but the first one he got 40. So
okay. Well, he'll be a force, like you said.
I was way off on that prediction. I guess because I see him in the later rounds in Pro ET, it made me think that he was
for
doing
sure.
Well.
shout out real quick to the GOAT. JT's back. He quietly came back last race. He won Nitrous Bulls. Actually, last race he won Nitrous Bulls and DMV Bulls. He comes down with Pops. Shout out Crow. Back again this race. Promptly wins Nitrous Bulls, and then Crow wins Monster Bulls. So I like how JT just kind of casually sneaks back into XDA under the radar. A series that he is off and on for years is just dominated sometimes. And yeah, the GOAT's back. I'm saying it. He's back.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he came to Virginia, took some money, come to Maryland, and him and his old man took some money. And they bail out.
Yeah,
They'll be at Virginia the next race too because Brandon told me he was coming.
awesome. It was good to see those guys again. I missed them. Hadn't seen them much lately.
Yeah.
Did we miss anything? Anything else we need to talk about? I know you and I are still trying to recover. I got some traveling due end of this week, so
I
did we
mean,
cover
I got to
everything we
work on
need
my
to?
motorcycles. Yeah, we covered all the classes. We covered the gamblers. We covered street. We covered pretty much all the classes. So we
Yeah.
give you guys a recap.
It was a good, despite the weather, and like we said many times, we hope y'all got to enjoy some time with friends and family, that you don't normally get. Yeah, we'll shout out to all the staff, all the media, all the photographers out there sweating their butts off, taking photos. Special shout out to our girl Kaylee, who's gonna have videos up for the sportsman racers probably next week sometime. She started was it summer school, I think, or something this week?
College.
College. So, yeah. Anyway, so Kaylee's getting that education on, so we'll have some sportsman footage for y'all next week, courtesy of Racing
Yeah,
the
I mean,
Lens.
she told us that she was, in school and wouldn't have a whole bunch of time. I said, you do school, we'll get the videos when you can. No hurry.
She was so let down. I seen her at like midnight, her and Dwayne on the golf cart coming back, and she
Yeah.
had this look. I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "We gotta leave." I said, "Don't worry about it," because she knew she felt so bad that she was gonna miss the final. I said, "It'll be all right." I said,
Yeah.
"I'm in the final. I'm happy." I said, "Y'all need to get the hell home."
Yeah.
Because she
Yeah.
was starting to school. So I know
Yeah.
she was really upset about that. I said, "Don't get out of
Yeah. I
here."
mean, in these situations,
Oh
this
my
was a
goodness.
weird situation, so, I mean,
Yeah.
hell, I left. You know what I mean? Like, usually I'm there till everything's over and I'm like, I got to go. I got to go. So,
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, this is probably gonna be almost 2 hours, so we're gonna real quick. We got to give away some money. And you and I had both talked to Peanut Butter and Jelly, and he said if he somehow wins again, to just pass him. So we're gonna see what we can do. What are we gonna give away this time? I don't even know.
I don't know. You pick. What'd you give away last time?
What did we give away? I think it was Schnitz. I think Schnitz Racing. Let's see. Yeah, so we can give away.
I wish I could click on stuff and mess up your spreadsheets.
Don't you mess with my
I
spreadsheet.
wish I could, like, drag over it and just backspace and fuck up all kinds of shit.
That's not nice.
He's so
I'm thinking,
organized.
I'm looking at the spreadsheet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's give away an MTC.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Dustin is watching my screen.
Oh, yeah, I can see it.
88 entries. We appreciate the support. We just need 12 more to hit 100 subscribers.
Wow, yeah, we should have that. What are you guys doing out there? I know there's somebody listening that's not set up. Quantity 5, check out.
Yep,
You got to
there you
do
go.
this.
Red Hill Racing Podcast.
Why do we just have, we have under 100. I know we got more than 100 racers that listen to this.
Oh, for sure. All right, you ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Spin the wheel. Oh, man, it's spinning.
It's still spinning. Your
It's
computer's kind of a
slow
little
enough.
bit slow.
I ordered a new computer mainly because of this podcast in school. So $3,000 later, I'm gonna have
Oh
a
my
new computer.
God. Oh, here we go. It ain't going to be peanut butter.
Nope.
Oh, it almost going to be Freaky Frank.
Oh,
Garrett.
Garrett Murphy. Congrats, Garrett.
Nice. Very
That's
nice.
that's another University of Win member. So Garrett, he's getting his money's worth on everything. Congrats, Garrett. We'll get you what do we say? MTC? Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, yeah. You
Get him
buy you some
clutch
dynamic
picks.
springs or something, or some
Yeah.
clutch picks, our buddy.
There we go.
Actually, I need to message him back. Actually, we were talking about his clutch stuff. I need to do that.
Good. We'll tell him he won, and I will get with him.
I'm
All
not.
right, man.
I won't text him back tonight. I'm going to the garage.
Yeah, you going to the garage? I'm in the garage.
I turned my AC on before I come up here to do this.
Nice. Real quick, couldn't do without the support of the sponsors: Worldwide Bearings, MPS Racing, Penske Racing Shocks, MTC Engineering, Platinum General Services, Schnitz Racing, Manchester Mines, Montgomery Motorsports, Dustin and Hard Times Parts and Service, Knight Marketing Group, Energy Coil, University of Wind, BMF Motorsports. Thank y'all. Go shop with these companies and businesses. There's plenty to go around. Spread the wealth. Shop at all of them if you can. Up
I just now thought of something. I'll make sure my butt goes to bed too early tonight because I have to go give my blood tomorrow in the morning.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I got to get that full
checkup tomorrow.
Full panel of blood work. So they got to take all kinds of blood and then hopefully find out something at the end of the week or first of next on if I've got other issues. So we'll see. I'm ready to do that because I still have issues. I'm just ignoring them.
Well, yeah, but you got checked out for XDA, so you felt a little better.
Well, I mean, they said my on paper, the EKG looks good, but that it don't do what it does when they're doing, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't get those feelings when they're doing the EKG, of course, so.
Of course. So you got stuff to do in the morning. Yeah, we appreciate y'all listening. Hopefully you enjoyed this little recap. Shout out to all the racers and the staff and everybody. It was a long weekend, but it was a good weekend. So also quick shout out to the other racers and events going on across the country. I read quite a few great reviews about Man Cup out at Dragway 42. Doesn't look like they had a huge crowd, but everybody that seemed to attend, all I was reading was, praise for Hollywood in that group. So shout out to them and look forward to getting down to one of their events here soon. That's it. That's all I got, man. You got anything else?
Bye now.
See y'all.